swirl in the off season. You hear it just like we hear it. But when you hear you possibly be to the Lakers, like being someone who grew up in LA, who was Kobe was quote unquote your MJ. I know you're a Spur, but growing up, did you ever picture yourself in that purple and gold?
No
Of
question.
course.
No question.
Of course.
I'll be
You
lying
did
to
too,
you and say
man.
this right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I was with his dad. I was a Showtime. That's where I grew up at. So it was always a dream of mine to put the purple and gold on.
Yeah, nah, without a doubt. You know what I mean? You always had them dreams of doing it. You know what I mean? And for me, it's look, I've learned being in the league so long to take, like, it's you always want to be wanted. You know what I mean? So when you see things about teams wanting you, you know, you can't feel a certain type of way. You better feel good about it because it's some motherfuckers that not wanted. That's
Facts.
you don't want to be that person. You know, so to be wanted by a championship team that just came off a championship, you know, to see that, you know, how could you not feel some type of way, especially me being from LA, it's like, damn, you know, my hometown team want me. They just came off a championship. They want me. You know what I mean? So it definitely it's crazy to be able to see that. You know what I mean? So anybody know whatever jersey I got on, you know, I'm gonna lay it out there on the line and represent it the best way I can.
I think it's a real possibility. Me personally, as you've seen with all the people that are, you know, arguing with each other in the comment sections of my tweets at times, I do like DeMar. I think his skill set, the things that he's good at, exactly fit with what are major holes in the Lakers offense. And one of the things that was a major hole in the Lakers offense that was very frustrating for us until the playoffs came was somebody who can have the ball in his hands and score, be a threat to score, be a threat to set up his teammates, be a threat to finish at the rim. That's not named LeBron James. DeMar is flat out he's like an all-around scorer. Historically, when we look at sort of his play type data, this past year, okay, let's assume that San Antonio was not like an optimized offense. It was just kind of a ragtag offense because they had like this mishmash of old guys and young guys. DeMar was a 92 percentile isolation score, 92%. His mid-range shooting, according to NBA, what they consider the mid-range, he was shooting better at mid-range than Kawhi Leonard. In pick and roll, he ranked this year, at least for the Spurs, he was the 90th percentile pick and roll ball handler. So when we think about the Lakers and the way that they like to run their offense, at least the way they like to run their offense when LeBron isn't on the court, a lot of pick and roll, attacking the rim, driving and kicking to teammates. DeMar is a perfect fit for that role. I have a hard time believing that a kid from LA that wants to come to LA, that wants to play for LA, that wants to, you know, put it all on the line. Those are his words, put it all on the line for the team, would not be successful or find a way to make the changes or adjustments that he needs to make to help the team win a championship. Because I mean, for a guy like him, that's all he has left. Like he just needs to win a chip to kind of validate himself in whatever fashion he feels.
Well, I mean, look, when we were going into the bubble or going into the trade deadline this past season, there are people that valued players like Derrick Rose. And you mentioned Dion Waiters, guys that aren't known to shoot threes. They shoot threes better than DeRozan does, but basically scores to give the Lakers another option. And to me, getting DeMar DeRozan isn't expensive at all. He can opt into this contract, this final year of his contract at $27 million, but then he's a free agent in 2022 or however the seasons are lining up.
He's basically expiring this year, yeah. So he'd be a free agent next year.
Exactly. So, you know, I know there are Lakers fans out there that have their hopes set that the Lakers might go after a Giannis or somebody. If that's even remotely possible, the Lakers would then be able to come off of DeMar's contract that particular offseason. I think beyond that, I think all the points you mentioned are valid. One, he's from Compton. He played at USC. Mm-hmm. Kobe is his MJ. Like DeMar DeRozan to me would be great in LA. And even going, what I'm seeing people say is, well, no, save assets for Bradley Beal, save assets for Spencer Dinwiddie, save assets for this other player. And the truth is, we have no idea if any of these players are even available. And then beyond that, we have no idea if the Lakers are even in the market to actually be able to acquire. Probably not a Bradley Beal. So let's just throw Beal out the window for a minute.
Yeah.
Spencer Dinwiddie, I would love to get, but one of the graphics that came up on my timeline when this whole thing exploded was Dinwiddie versus DeRozan, and to me that was ridiculous. Like, if you can get Dinwiddie, I think he makes $5 or $6 million. He makes way less than DeRozan
he makes
does.
10 million. Yeah.
Right. Obviously, there's a lot of reasons why you would go for that. But if that's not possible, DeMar in the last year of his contract, he's phenomenal at the things that he does well. I think you go for it. And I think we reduce players way too often to what's their 3-point percentage. Like, basketball is more than just a 3-point percentage. And someone like DeRozan, we were talking offline. He can, when LeBron sits, he can obviously play a 2-man game with Anthony Davis.
Yep.
This season's going to be probably not as unique as this past season, but certainly very unique in that the Lakers are going to have to rest LeBron and Anthony Davis, strategically throughout the year. The Lakers are probably going to need a third guy this season more than ever. I don't know if they can rely on a third guy by committee, thing that they did this past season.
Mm-hmm.
And DeRozan, the Spurs did make the playoffs. Obviously, there was a big break in the middle of the season. So he's probably a bit more rested than a lot of the other guys out there the Lakers might be looking at. And I like a lot of things that DeRozan does, man. Like, just to have another guy that any given night can get you 20 points. And your point is right about, I don't think that he would start on this team, nor do I think the Lakers should try and force him starting. If he was to get traded here, he comes off the bench. He still probably plays 28 to 32 minutes a night, starters minutes, and he's just fine. He only averages about 15 shots a game with the San Antonio Spurs. He could probably get 15 shots a game on this Lakers team.
Yeah.
To me, if there was a season to try someone like DeRozan, you do it. And furthermore, if it works, then maybe next season, maybe he's willing to take whatever kind of hometown discount because he was a Kobe guy. He grew up liking the Lakers. He got to win a championship in LA, so he wants to stick around even longer. Plus, there's off-the-court stuff that always comes when you're a player with the Lakers. I am not against bringing in DeMar DeRozan. Furthermore, I think Kyle Kuzma needs more opportunity. And on this Lakers team, I don't think he's going to get it. Unless when we start this season, if he starts off balling, then maybe he gets more opportunity. But if he starts off struggling like he has this past season, he needs to go somewhere else. And so I'm all for bringing DeRozan in. I like DeRozan a lot. I think fans want things both ways. Like, they want a guy who is an all-star that has a cost-efficient contract, that can shoot threes, that can get to the rim. Guys, like, that doesn't exist. Like, everybody that can get to the rim and shoot threes is making max contract money.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys have already been spotted out. Like, it's very hard to find guys like that.
Or if you've got a guy on on a minimum or on a rookie contract that's doing that already, the team's not letting them go. Like that, exactly. It's just not. So we need to get more realistic, I think, with what's available. And if there's any truth to these rumors, for Danny Green and Kyle Kuzma, look, KCP made Danny Green expendable this season, in my opinion. If you're going to keep KCP and give him 12 to 15 million, you don't need to pay Danny Green $15 million.
Right.
And so why not go for it? Can it happen? I don't know. Like, the thing is that the free agency is November 20th in a few days. The league is still not, like, the league is being really quiet about opt-ins right now. Like, they haven't mentioned like the opt-in deadline. And so we don't even know what's going on with that, but DeRozan still has an opportunity to opt in. So if you have a chance to get a guy I think he's 31, man. Yeah. He's still at all-star level talent. Like, he's not ascending anymore, but at 31, he averages 20 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. I'm confident he probably wouldn't average 20 points on this Lakers team, but I'm confident that probably his 45% shooting percentage probably goes up because LeBron and Anthony Davis make things even easier for him.
Yeah.
And if anybody can figure out how to play with DeRozan and maximize his talent, isn't it LeBron James?